What's good? It's Woog. I just wanted to say rest in peace to Hamish Kilgour. He's one of the founding members of the New Zealand band, The Clean. If you're not familiar with The Clean, I really urge you to get into their music. I feel like this is one of the bands that's kind of slept on and really floats under the radar. They pioneered a sound out of New Zealand called the Dunedin sound. Dunedin is a city in New Zealand, and it's the second biggest city in the south part of New Zealand. The biggest of that region in New Zealand is called Christchurch. So there's Christchurch and then there's Dunedin. The Dunedin sound is a little bit, it's got elements of krautrock, but it also has these droning guitars, and it's very riveting. It could be pretty hypnotizing. Like, you could listen to like a 6 to 8 minute instrumental part of a song and just be drawn in because the different variations and the different intonations within the drones. I mean, this is almost like an extension of ambient. Like, you're talking about the descendants of like Brian Eno music mixed with the descendants of the Velvet Underground style music. So you've got some of that post-punk or punk rock mixed with some krautrock slash experimental, even ambient elements that just make for this cacophony of sound that just works brilliantly. And I've really come to love this band. And if you don't know like what EP, because they don't have a long discography, they didn't drop a bunch of albums. They got together like at the end of the 70s, recorded a couple of EPs. They disbanded for a few years, came back together for another EP or two. And so they just have this, kind of scattered patchwork of songs. But you could get most of their work, not all of their best work, but much of their best work with one collection, and it's called The Anthology. That's actually where this graphic comes from. So look out for The Clean Anthology and get into some of my favorite songs. I mean, there's obviously Tally Ho. Tally Ho, kind of launched them in that region. That was kind of their breakthrough song. And by the way, other bands that are representative of that Dunedin sound are The Chills, in which there's some member cross-pollination between bands like The Clean and The Chills. So there's The Clean, there's The Chills, there's The Bats. I love this song called North by North by The Bats. Listen to that album, but it's got like a weird figure face on it. But look out for that Bats album too and give that a listen. But The Clean Anthology, I would start there. And there's like a whole history to how The Clean came together around this time in New Zealand and how much of a craze. Like, you could go on YouTube and look for their live version of Point That Thing Somewhere Else, and you could just see the way that the crowd is moving. This was a very interesting time, and you had some very good experimental rock bands playing with different sounds and kind of, influencing each other to where there was like this crescendo of these different styles coming together at this mid to late 80s time. But yeah, rest in peace to Hamish Kilgour. He played the drums, and they all kind of like pitched in with some of the vocals. There wasn't really a standout vocalist in that band, but another one of their founding members, because it was Hamish Kilgour and David Kilgour who were the founding members, along with Peter Guttridge. And Peter Guttridge passed away a few years ago. So that's two of the three founding members of The Clean that have now passed away. But yeah, give them a listen. The cause of death for Hamish Kilgour has not yet been revealed, but it doesn't sound great. Like, I remember seeing the report that he went missing a few days before he was officially announced or declared dead. So I have my suspicions on what might have happened. I don't want to get too much into the speculation, but yeah, he was 65 years old, and it's really just sad news that he passed away. But I would definitely use this time as an opportunity to get into a very, very fun and good band that you might not have heard of. The Clean. Some of my favorite songs include Tally Ho, Anything Could Happen. That's another very good one. Again, Point That Thing Somewhere Else. That instrumental is just brilliant to me, as is the instrumentals that you'll hear for the song Fish for the song called At the Bottom. Again, these are like very cool kind of krautrock sound. And when I say krautrock, I mean that it's like a steady drum. It's like a dun 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 dun. And like listen to the band NEU. It's pronounced Noi, but you'll see NEU with an exclamation point. Listen to their iconic song, at least in the krautrock realm, iconic song, Hallo Gallo. That is kind of like one of the embodiments of krautrock. So the Clean also channels some of that type of energy, as do bands these days. Like some bands that I would say the Clean influence were Guided by Voices. I would say Yo La Tengo. I would say Sonic Youth to a degree. And even the band Woods. Like Woods has a couple krautrock-ish moments as well. But yeah, Yo La Tengo, Guided by Voices, and several others. Like this subgenre has kind of found its way into the DNA in a lot of the rock and indie rock and post-punk variations, jangle pop, jangle rock. A lot of these subgenres, you will find some of that, the Clean and the Dunedin sound DNA in some of today's music even. And another couple of my favorite songs by the Clean are Big Soft Punch, At the Bottom, Chumpy, Getting Older. But my favorite song by the Clean might be Someone. Just the opening riff to that song, like in the first 5 seconds of that song, I am totally captivated. I just need that music in my vein. Please give the Clean a listen. Rest in peace to Hamish Kilgour. Please let me know if you're already familiar with the Clean. If you are, point me to some of their songs that might be some of your favorites. I also heard that, they had a couple 90s releases as well. And the label that they were on and they kind of co-founded back in the day was Flying Nun. Like that label was pretty much almost synonymous with the Clean. So get into the Flying Nun labels, music. You will also find other bands that you might like a lot. And then in recent years, after their Flying Nun era, they were also on Merge Records. So I think that the anthology, this album, which has like 30 songs. Again, if you want to get into the Clean, I would just start with Anthology. It's got 90% of their best music. But I think that the anthology was released collaboratively between Flying Nun and Merge Records. But yeah, get into the Clean. Let me know what you think about the Clean in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you love music like I do. Rest in peace, Hamish Kilgour, and condolences to the Kilgour family. I'm Woog. Thanks for tuning in.